Good afternoon. You're watching Businessworld live here on One News. I'm Delos Santos. Let's have a look at how the local bourse closed today, Thursday. Not much movement for the main index overall, which shares little change on the downside at that at 6,820. But for the most part of the session, stocks were trading in the green, but a last minute dumping pulled shares lower by a touch. The real action, though, is with our telco giants Globe and PLDT. Both firms once again leading gains for the main index on the back of bullishness that data demand will remain high, further padding the sector's earning despite the pandemic. Add to that possible gains once Congress amends the Public Services Act, which could relax the 40% cap on foreign ownership for telcos and utilities. Japita Chanko of Philstocks Financial says as well that this might mean more foreign funds getting into PLDT and Globe. Carlo Temporal of AP Securities zeroed in on GCash, saying that's driving the rally for Globe, as well as increasing broadband revenue and recovering market share in mobile phone services. Speaking of GCash, a possible IPO of its operator Mynt is expected to come in due time. That's according to Globe CEO Ernest Koo. Now he says they have to weigh first if the value of the company has been maximized and there's a use for the funds. He also says that Mint has no problems coming up with funds as a private firm. GCash is also expected to beef up its offering within the app as part of its expansion plans. Globe is the day's best performer, as you can see in this chart right here, the bottom chart that represented by the blue line. Again, Globe, the day's best performer, soaring 13 and 0.4% to 2,948. It's been in the green for 5 straight sessions now. PLDT, on the other hand, represented by the green line chart here, extended its winning streak for a third day this time, jumping 7 and 7/10% to 1,449. While these two stocks may be on a hot streak, the peso not experiencing the same here. Well, it was off to a good start earlier today, but has since lost its spark, weakening a touch here. The reversal in the country's balance of payments unable to buoy the local currency. Again, for the month of July, BOP surplus was at $642 million compared to the $312 million shortfall back in June. Now, Mike Ricafort of RCBC says there could be a number of support for the BOP moving forward. That includes remittances, outsourcing revenues, and foreign investments. Again, looking at this chart right here, you can see the peso weakening close to 0.4% now at 50 spot 020 to the greenback. Here are other headlines we're keeping our eyes on. The country has yet to see the full effect of the enhanced community quarantine imposed in NCR and other provinces. The OCTA Research Group says the Philippines isn't out of the woods yet, even as daily cases have started to decline in the past days. The group says a pre-surge level in cases is also possible by October. The health department has noted that the NCR Plus region in central Luzon posted the fastest increase in cases. The e-commerce sector in the Philippines is expected to hit $15 billion by 2025. Despite growing sales, though, industry analysts say the industry remains underpenetrated at only 5%. The Philippines e-commerce market had an estimated gross merchandise value of $4 billion last year when the pandemic started. This provides more room for opportunities in the digital economy in the Philippines as well as in neighbors in the region. Now, the Agriculture Department wants to expand the Philippines' engagement with Brazil in terms of farm commodities and technical cooperation. The DA is urging Brazilian companies to purchase more desiccated coconut oil, palm kernel, and palm oil from the Philippines. The department also wants a collaboration over the use of abaca in automotive parts. The DA also lifted the ban on poultry imports from Netherlands after the country reported the bird flu outbreak being under control. In local wet markets, pork prices have seen a steady decline as imported supply comes in. The same can be said for vegetables based on the DA's latest price monitoring. Not only do local producers have to contend with imported products, there's also the long stretch of lockdowns which has disrupted production. To find out how they are doing, we have on the show Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura or SINAG President Rosendo So. Good afternoon, Rosendo.
Yeah, good afternoon, and
Yes, sir.
the
Okay, so
viewers.
how is the current stretch of lockdowns affecting food producers and by how much has demand fallen?
Yeah, the demand have fallen around 50% from the lockdown, and of course, the hog weight has increased to around from ordinary we are selling around 85 kilos. Now it's bigger around 110 kilos live weight. So with that level, the price can be lowered um, because of the demand, no? What lower demand, and of course, if the weight of pig is higher, the price can be lowered.
Mm-hmm. Since you've mentioned that already, can you give us an idea really what's the situation like on the ground? Well, like what you mentioned, there's an increase in supply, but there's slow demand. That in a way would of course result in lower prices. The DA has been monitoring the same, especially for pork. What's the situation like by how much of prices decline?
Yeah, the price, like 1.5 months ago, the price is around 200 pesos live weight in Luzon. Now is around 185 to 190. And Visaya Mindanao, 1.5 months ago, the price is around 165 in Mindanao. Now is 150, and the other one is in Visaya. The price went down from 150 to 140
Mm-hmm. Okay,
live weight price. Yeah.
okay, quite a decline there. But how much have your members at least reduced their production levels during the lockdown period?
Uh, we have started reducing the production since the import is coming.
Mm-hmm.
The big one did not expand anymore. I think they have joined the import already. The big one, no,
Mm-hmm.
and the smaller one in the backyard did not expand and did not. Uh, uh, Within this year, I don't think there is any expansion with the situation because of the import.
Okay, I just want to drive on one point that you mentioned there. That, a number of your members have, in fact, already started importing pork as well, or at least joined the bandwagon, considering that there's a surge in imports there. Can you nuance that a bit more for us? How many of your members have decided to jump ship?
I think the big ones, no, have already imported like Rubina, San Miguel,
Mhm.
and Bounty. I think they have started to import instead of doing local.
Mhm.
Uh, but the smaller one, middle one, and the farmers, they don't like to expand because of the price coming in from the imported. We saw the price in the Senate hearing. The price is around 90 pesos to only 120 pesos. So they are saving about 250 pesos. The liempo, no, selling at 250. So they have a much bigger margin than those producing in our local and selling here in our local in these countries.
Mhm. Now, sir, like as you claimed, big ones already at least focusing on importing backyard racers, no longer expanding. And at the same time, the DA is saying more pork imports should be expected to arrive until January next year. How's that going to affect the local industry and how are you preparing for that?
Yeah, in the long run, it will affect our local produce, of course, and for now, we hope that the DA will uh, implement the full inspection of Food Safety Act,
Mm-hmm.
uh, so that ASF will not affect more area in this country, because we know that it was the frozen meat who started the ASF in this country,
Mm-hmm.
and the last reported is already reached Ilocos Norte.
Mm-hmm.
So when we have Senate hearing in last few months ago, 2 months ago, I think Senator Amy Marcos was complaining the frozen meat going to their part, no, to their area, and she is afraid that the ASF will spread to their area. Now, I think last month it was spread to Ilocos Norte already.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of which, give us an idea now, sir. How's the ASF situation like here in the country at the moment, and how are your repopulating efforts going along?
Yeah, repopulating. No one want to take the risk if DA won't inspect the incoming from the borders. No,
Mm-hmm.
we have been saying that every container has to check all container coming in to to test if there is diseases.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, those farm are afraid to expand if or repopulate if our incoming from other countries is not fully tested.
Mm-hmm. Currently, at least from what you know, what's the current shortfall here when it comes to hog numbers? What's the
So
gap that
far,
we're trying to address?
we have a shortage in Luzon, but uh, the Visaya Mindanao can supply.
Mm-hmm.
One of our requests before in Senate is to help the transport costs. But
Mm-hmm.
I think the government decided to lower the tariff and import instead of supporting our local industry.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Now, are you expecting a bit of a reprieve? You have the holiday season already nearing, so is that in a way going to be a boost for the local hog industry?
I think every time every holiday season the price will go up automatically. No, we don't see when holiday season come, the price will
Mhm.
go down.
Mhm. All right. Thank you very much again for your time and your insights this afternoon. Again, Samahang Industriya ng Agrikultura President Rosendo So. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
And those are the biggest stories this trading day, August 26, 2021. Catch Business World Live again tomorrow at 9:30 a.m. for the market open and 3:15 p.m. for the market close. I'm Jess Delos Santos and we are One News. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines.